Okay, well, we have a job to start in 8 minutes time. I've got a twilight setting here, which means the job can run between 21:54 and 04:42. We're going to do a mosaic, so this is 4 frames looking at 4 different parts of the sky, slightly overlapping so that we can register them together. I'm already guiding. I'm already focused as well as I can be with the equipment that I've got. It's a full moon. So we're going to do some hydrogen alpha. Hope I've said that right. Yeah. Hydrogen alpha, we're going to do 10 exposures, 3 minutes each, across all 4 of these parts of the frame. So we're just going to wait now, I suppose, until twilight, astronomical twilight, which starts at 21:54. The moon's going to be there, but hopefully the fact that we're taking hydrogen alpha frames means that we're going to still get some nice pictures, hopefully, and we can put them together in a mosaic, which I'll probably do in a different video from this. I'm not sure about my alignment. I did seem to have some drift after aligning. Hopefully my guiding can overcome that. Probably having to compensate a certain amount. Most of it appears to be within, that looks like most within 2. My guiding deviation on captures is 8. It's quite high, but hopefully the fact that I'm taking quite a wide field mosaic is not going to influence that too much. This should be fun. So in 4 minutes time it should try and start the process. So this is using the scheduler in kstars. Scheduler being, it's basically an observatory management system. You can set constraints for your job, how big the moon is and so on. Just start it up. If you had an observatory and a permanent setup, then you could literally just set these jobs to run, and it would open the slit in your observatory, rotate the dome to the correct position, and also control your telescope and do all the things that are necessary. It's really unlikely that that's going to happen for me anytime soon. So, as you say, sleeping until observation job IC 1848 part 4 is ready at Monday 21:54, and we are 21:53. So we've just got 3 minutes of wait time before it kicks off. I could have removed that constraint. I've done some focus images. You can see that there is, just in an 8-second exposure, some nebulosity here. Focusing is not great. If you look at my previous videos, you can understand where we are with my equipment. It's a work in progress, always. As you can see, after alignment, I was 2,288 arc seconds out. That's quite a few. It's almost a degree, isn't it? Pulled it in, got it within 30 arc seconds, and left it for a while before redoing that, and it had already drifted 300, a tenth of a degree out. So my alignment is probably not great. Having said that, I've already done the guiding setup, so I'm hoping that when it goes and slews to the first frame, that it's going to keep that calibration data and not have to go through all that calibration all over again. So we're coming up to the time now. I hope no one else is controlling my desktop. That may have been me from the last session. We're cooling the camera down to -5 degrees C. As I said, exposure is 180 seconds. We're doing 10 for each frame, and we're only doing hydrogen alpha. Got Unity gain on the ASCII 1600 Pro, which is 139. These are light frames. And like I say, autofocus is off. We're not refocusing. We're going to go with everything as it is. The camera's been out there for quite a while, as is telescope, so everything should have sort of acclimatized. Hopefully we're not going to see too much deviation in atmospheric conditions tonight. Don't want to be going on beyond 1 AM. There's a bunch of cloud coming over between 1 and 2 AM, and it's just going to throw guiding into things, but hopefully we're going to have clear skies until then. So 4 times 10 is 40 frames of 3 minutes each. So what's that? 40 for 3 minutes, 43, 2 hours worth of exposures. So hopefully we'll start. Okay, so now it's gotten into focusing. I have pre-focused, and I've tried to set it so that within the mechanics it only did a really small step, and I'm hoping that it's going to remain that, and it's not. Let's see how I can still see some nebulosity there, but interestingly, I think we've started with OSF HFR than what I was getting before. So, well, the question is, do you pause it and refocus, or do we go with it? So now it's going to move slew. So it's done that focusing. Now it's moved to a certain position, and it's going to be plate solving. And it's found itself out of target. How far out of target is the question. So we're looking for the 10. It's only just out, is it? No? Oh, right. Okay, so it's found itself. It seems to always be approaching from this position. Right, so now it's plate solved. So what plate solving is it's taken a picture of through the camera, and it's looked at the stars, and it's gone to the astrometry database and sort of said, okay, where am I in the sky? And carry on, iterate that process until I get to within 30 arc seconds of my actual target location. So it has done that, and now what it should be doing, it's doing the calibration again. Hopefully this will be quite quick. It looks like it's found a viable guide star, and yeah, it's carrying on, getting through that calibration pretty quickly, and hopefully it's just gonna, in a minute, it's gonna say it's guiding. If you're looking down here, it does the 4 steps for calibration, which is it drifts in a certain direction, RA in one direction, and then just reverse back there. Does that with the declination as well. And now we are guiding on a star, which is necessary if you're going to be taking a long exposure. Okay, so we are guiding. So this is one of the things that we look at, is what the accuracy of the guiding is. The pulses that it sends to the mount to move in a particular direction, and where this bounces around. So now we're in a green, only just. As I said before, the sensitivity for this to actually stop an exposure I've set to 8, so it's kind of a circle that's bigger than this red bit here. But what we should find is that with time, and you can set this, there's a settle setting that you can set to allow the guiding just to settle, and as you can see now it's just bouncing around within the green, and hopefully it will continue to do that. Okay, what we should be doing now is probably, and we have been for the last 90 seconds or so, is taking the first exposure. Were we confident that the focus was good? You can set constraints on focus, and you can tell it just don't take the picture. The focus is within a certain HFR value. We haven't done that, so we're just going to go with the focus that we've got, and hopefully in 55 seconds we'll see the first exposure come through. I've got 2 stars in my guide box. That's an interesting thing. Is that a good thing? Is it detecting on as 1 star or 2 stars? Sorry, my focus box. Well, we'll see. See how we go. This will be quite a long video, so sort of fast forwarding to frames where I've actually captured something might be useful. Let's see what we have. We've got a couple of seconds of exposure, about 10 seconds of download, maybe 5, 6 or something like that, depending on how the network's working tonight. There we have first exposure. Yeah, that's out of focus. That's not what I would like. How do I stop that and refocus? Let's pause and try and do some manual focusing on this and see whether we can restart it afterwards. So we're guiding, so that's good. So let's go. Let's look at this 6.53, and what I'll do is just some manual focusing. So we'll take an exposure now. Hopefully that'll be in exactly the same place because we're guiding on it. I've got to set this really low, the initial step size, which is what you can do when you do the manual focus. 6.60. So let's try just focusing out a bit, about 10 steps. Which is a really small amount, and I'm not even sure whether doing this on the first occasion. I've just killed guiding, haven't I? Might be still doing an exposure. Are we still guiding? We are still guiding. So Okay, scheduler pause is planned. I wonder whether that does that at the end of this exposure, or I mean there is some nebulosity there. It's just these stars look a lot worse than normal. So we have to wait 2 minutes now. I could stop, do a stop here, but yeah, question is, will that work? So this is a nebula, and it's the IC1848 nebula, which is the Sol nebula. So if eventually you can do enough exposures, you can put together a whole montage of the Heart and Soul Nebula. It looks really, really nice. Pictures I've seen. This month's Sky and Telescope actually had a pretty good picture of the Heart and Soul Nebula, wide field. I imagine that's obviously a mosaic, but yeah, it's, I'm hoping that it's just going to pause at the end of this. Let's see whether it does it or not. So we've wasted 2 images here, and maybe if it doesn't stop or pause, okay, we've got that one. So I think it's actually refocused out and it didn't go well. It just says pause planned. Please stop. It's just different. I'll be really annoyed. Okay, maybe we're in. So what we're going to do is just some manual focusing. So let's focus in. Let's just set this to 25 a second. Focus in. I pause a little here because if I go with the focuser a bit too much, please don't. It's still going on. I don't want it to stop capturing. Maybe I have to stop the capture. Right. Are we stopped? I've stopped that. It's just restarting it immediately. That's supposed to wake you up, I guess, if something's gone wrong. So I've stopped that entire capture, and here we are. We're wasting time. So I've got 2 hours, and I'm allowing myself a certain amount of time. But thankfully, everything that I'm doing today tell me it's actually doing something, because that's stopped. I can't take a stop the autofocuser. Right. We're just going to try and manually focus. 2.36 there. Hopefully, I'm still auto guiding. Okay, that's slightly better, isn't it? That's what have I just done? Focused inward. Let's focus inward by 25 again. 1.67, 1.72, 1.76, almost 3 in a line. Over 8 seconds. And we lost everything, so let's focus out. .5.08. So I focused in and it went up, and focused out and it went up. Let's just try focusing out again. Maybe this is too small and I've got a bit of backlash and it didn't actually do anything, so let's just carry on in a certain direction. Okay, carry on in the same direction. Let's just change that to 15. Out again, 1.68, 1.72. Okay, well, I've got smaller values there. Carry on in the same direction. 5 is probably too small for my focuser. Let's focus out a bit more. Let's go up. 1.39, 1.46. Okay, that's really gone in the wrong direction there, so let's just come back in. First picture probably won't be any good. Okay, and one more. So that's probably just hit the backlash a little on the focuser, and the second one hopefully has brought it back a little more. It's coming in 2.65, 2.73 there. Don't do huge changes to the focusing like some of these algorithms do. Reason for that is I'm still guiding, I think. Yeah. Oh no, auto guiding has been aborted. That's annoying. Okay. Just come in one more. 1.60, 1.58, 1.17. Okay, well, it's finding lower things. I'm seeing some nebulosity there. I think we'll just go with this. So let's start this again. Right, so yeah, I need to sort of kind of wait a while for this to kick in. While we do that, let's just check our settings. We've got gain 139, 10 thing. I haven't got any stupid binning setting here, have I? Binning is 1, that's fine. The other thing I always want to check, yeah, we're going 16-bit. Right, so I think it's, here we go. It's going to try and focus again. It's really annoying because I think it was just throwing me out of focus. You could change this max travel setting, I'm guessing. Let's just see where, as long as it remains under 2 and doesn't decide to like do something stupid, then I'm fine. So I'm messing about with the focus driver for the focuser that I have. Okay, I got some pretty small things that are viably stars in there, so I think we've actually focused pretty well this time around. He's going to do calibration again. Wonderful. So we're not going to focus again in this session. We're not changing filters. Everything should be fine. I'm assuming it's plate solving actually now. Yeah. So it's finding its position again in the sky. And as you can see, we had drifted. And it's almost there. Wow, we were at number 12, so that's where it wants to be here, and it's just identified that it's at this place in the sky, which is fine. So the next one ought to be. That's interesting, isn't it? It's constantly finding itself here after it resyncs, which is interesting. which is fine. Right. So once it's done that, now it's got to focus on a star. Recalibrate again, even though it's only moved a certain amount. But hopefully did that pretty quickly. We're at second stage now, RA drifting reverse. And the worst thing that can happen now is, you know, the clouds come over and all of a sudden your guider goes all fuzzy and you can't see anything, which does happen. And then you sort of say, oh, someone's turned the lights on or something outside. Deck. Okay, I can just about see that star. So this is on an OAG, so the guide camera is attached on an off-axis guider. I'll show you that at some point in a future video, the imaging train as a whole, and explain to you how that works. So the light that comes into the off-axis guider is just a little mirror in the imaging train that sends a portion of the light, a very small amount of it, up to a guiding camera, and what that is, and what this is doing is finding a star within that off-axis guider and hopefully tracking it, and then it talks, or this software talks, back to the mount and says, look, this star is moving too far in this direction, too far in that direction, adjust accordingly, so that when you take a long exposure, so every time you hear a sound like that, that means something's gone wrong. And what it looks like is the star has just moved off piste. It's having trouble detecting it. So the star detection is over here and needs to be over there. And basically we lost it. We lost the star. So it's going to go again. And we lost it again. In fact, the star's just... Okay, are we coming in? So this yellow thing needs to settle on... So I can see stars in that frame. So what we'll do, just switch the binning to 2x2. Essentially means group pixels in boxes of 2 across and 2 down, and increase the amount. That lowers the resolution of the image, but hopefully brings in. This might be clouds. Do I need to go outside and look and see whether we have any clouds? It's a bit early for clouds. From what I was expecting. Oh, it could be someone's turned the lights on outside. Got a lot of deviation there. We'll give it some time. We're guiding again, but we are barely within threshold. Is it coming in? There's our little target. So we may be on exposure now. Yeah, we are. There's 130 odd seconds into an exposure, and we're in the green. Settle down. So it might have been someone turned their security light on. So delta RMS threshold value exceeded. So that may have helped the 2x2. So obviously, if you're grouping 4 pixels in your sensor, you're going to increase the signal to noise ratio. Despite I thought we were drifting away then. So in an ideal world, you'd want this to be kind of with the guide equipment I've got, not the guide camera. You'd want this to be within the sort of 1 arc second range, and in optimum conditions, we do get that. It's just that. So it's the lines that we're looking at. So if you're looking at the if you're looking at the shaded areas, that is actually the amount of pulse that it's sending to the mount to compensate. It's the actual line, the green and the blue line, that we're looking at to as to how well we are guiding. And we should probably have a picture in 30 seconds, and let's see whether it's better than this one. So we've wasted 2 exposures on this frame, but over time you stack them all, and hopefully these are the ones that you get discarded. Let's see how we do with the next one. So should have a fits come through in a second or so. That's better. I like that. So you can see some of the nebulosity here, and I recognise this bit as part of the Sol Nebula. So yeah, I'm going to continue with these, and then in my next video, I'm going to show you, hopefully, what I composed, stacking 10 of these in a mosaic with just the hydrogen alpha, and what I hope to do at some point in the future is to get red, green, blue luminates, S2 and O3, and combine those, and we can play around with a nice huge image that maybe with time, when we get enough detail, we can put it together, and maybe it'll be something that can be hung on the wall. Okay, well, cheers, and see you guys soon.